says it's sending data. So we're just going to give it a second here because we just swapped the technology behind the way we're doing these live demos. We used to stream them directly, I think, to YouTube, and now we're using Restream.io to stream to multiple of different platforms. I want to make sure that all of that connects up and I click the right buttons, because I have, in the past, clicked the wrong buttons. And then I'll talk for, 15, 20 minutes, and nobody will have ever seen it. It won't go anywhere. It won't have been recorded. But this time, I got the thumbs up. So it is working. Cool! So, I'm 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗴. This is a live public demo of TechIDManager. We're going to talk about privilege account management for managed service providers, password management for service providers, and those things that TechIDManager does to help MSPs and IT companies and VARs and some internal IT companies and enterprises to do that layer of the onion that is cybersecurity that comes around privilege account management and access control and password management for a variety of different things and places. So if you're here, happy to have you, glad you're here. This is going to take the basis that you have not seen TechIDManager or you've read a little bit of our webpage. We're going to go through a high-level explanation, and we'll bring the product up and actually show it to you. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the reasons why we do the things that we do in the way that we do them, because of my background of working for an MSP for about 12 years. So, at the high level, TechIDManager is a privileged account management and secrets management platform for MSPs and VARs. It specifically, at the core of it, is built on end-to-end encryption so that all the credentials that we create, maintain are only visible to the specific people that should see them. This is a very secure way to do it. We can swap out the encryption module that's underneath, be asymmetric, quantum safe, all those kind of things. We use that underlying foundation to make unique accounts where people need them. We also use that underlying foundation to help you more securely share admin accounts, though we believe that you should stop sharing admin accounts, as our sticker says. There are times where you have to do that. So we make unique accounts so you don't have to share them. We help you share in those cases where you have to share them. And we also do passwords, secrets management and sharing and control and history and all that kind of logging that goes along with those. So we can do full encompassing of privilege account management and password management for an MSP. We are that layer of the onion. So we're going to bring up the product and show it. There are three pieces to TechIDManager, really. There's the tech client, which is what runs on the technician's computer, has the encryption in it that decrypts and guarantees that those passwords are only shown on the screen to that person. There's the management console, where managers go and determine who gets what access where, who can see what, does a bunch of the wiring up, determines what types of rights people get assigned on the various accounts get created or maintained for them. And then there are the agents that get installed where the accounts are actually created and maintained. We have agents for local Windows computers, agents for domain controllers to make and maintain domain accounts, and agents for Azure or Entra ID tenants that make accounts for Azure or Entra ID tenants that can do whatever those accounts do. And these accounts are directly in that authentication source, which is a big differentiator from any SSO or other things or federated account management type platforms, which have some pretty significant drawbacks and failures in my opinion. So this is what TechIDManager Tech Client looks like. This is the piece of software that runs on the technician's computer. The technician uses every day to get access what they need to get access to. It tells them what kind of account they're using and provides easy access to those credentials. The easiest way to show what's going on here is to actually use one of these accounts that's been made for me to log in. This works with every remote connection tool. What I happen to have here is Screen Connect or ConnectWise Control. This is connected to, as we can see here on the screen, the domain named 𝗔𝗰𝗶𝗄. As a technician, when I get to this point, I have remoted in, there's some ticket I'm working in, I need to get logged in as an administrator or whatever rights I'm granted on this network, I need to get logged in to fix something. So I bring up the tech client. There could be 10 to thousands of accounts here that are made or maintained or that I have access to. I just click search. When I click this search button, the tech client went out on my computer and looked at all the windows I have open, made an intelligent guess about which ones are remote connection tools and where they are trying to connect, and said, of all the things it looks like you are trying to do on your computer right now, I suspect that you need this 𝗔𝗰𝗶𝗄 credential. It is in fact the credential I need, 𝗫.org, 𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗆@MIT-admin@𝗫.org. I could copy that username and paste it in there. I could copy that password and paste it in there. But what I really want to do is just directly inject those credentials and get logged in without me really having to know that password or that username or whatever. So that's what happened. I clicked send those credentials, it injected those credentials and logged me in with an account that is specific to me on this domain with rights that are specific to me for whatever level of privilege I'm supposed to have. If I should just be able to access 1 or 2 servers with just permission to look at the backup, that's all the rights I have. If I am a God level administrator with domain and enterprise admin and SQL admin and the rights to do all the AD sync stuff that goes syncs these accounts up to 𝗕𝗏𝐼D, those are the rights my account has. Those rights are individually assignable so that there's no question about whether you should give somebody access to a shared account that's a God level account when really they're just a backup administrator or they're just checking somebody's account to make sure it's in the right groups. So as we saw, that's super easy to use, and this 𝗫.org account we see right here, these icons specify what type of account that is. This is a D for domain account. We can also do Azure accounts and local accounts. This single head icon means that this account is unique to me. One person, just me, can see this account. We can also do this multi-headed type icon here, which is a shared account. Though we say you should have unique accounts, there are times where you have to share accounts. Local administrator accounts, service accounts, licensing limited accounts, things like that. You have to share them. We can take over those accounts, rotate the password on those, and let a certain subset of technicians see those that we're rotating the password on and maintaining. We make sure the account stays protected, all kinds of other stuff. You can also see that there's a third icon on some of these rows, like this 𝗂𝗏𝗿.net account, little clock face icon of the red X. That means that this is a just-in-time account. This account is normally disabled or does not exist until a technician needs to use it. This is my account that's just in time. I want to use it, I click enable. A little orange hourglass appears, and in the next 60 seconds, if that account doesn't exist, it'll be created. That account is assigned rights that are specific to me at that location. A password is set on that account, encrypted and sent back so that just I can read it. That account will stay enabled for a certain amount of time. It's usually 2 hours. It's by default 2 hours, but you can make that a time frame longer or shorter, whatever it is that fits your needs as an MSP and your general time frames. That account can always be re-enabled and extended. A little green plus now means that that account has been enabled and can be used anywhere that account will grant me access. I can use that account to log in. So any machine on the Tacoma domain, any servers, the DC itself, if I have rights in that account to use that account to log in, I can. Again, those are rights specific to me that a manager said I can have. The big difference between a just-in-time account and a managed account, like the 𝗫 account that I used, is that the 𝗫 account is always available. Whether the machine is online, offline, I can use that account to log in. The just-in-time accounts require the machine to be internet accessible and be able to access the internet to enable those accounts. Also requires your agent to be running, requires the machine to be in good working order. It has just-in-time accounts from any manufacturer that provides just-in-time accounts has that online limitation. You have to be online for that to work. The managed accounts don't have that limitation. So if you need guaranteed access to that machine, whether the internet's up or down, whether your internet connection is there, whether the machine is physically plugged in or not, whether you're bringing a backup of that machine, that's what some of the advantages of a managed account over a just-in-time account. Just-in-time accounts are for sure the new shiny object that everyone's talking about when it comes to privileged account management. But there are also some drawbacks that you really need to recognize when you choose whether to use just-in-time accounts or managed accounts. We provide both. We're going to give you the option, even on the same domain, same network. You can have some technicians that have just-in-time accounts, and some of your technicians have managed accounts that are always available. You can do a shared account that's always there and limited to a few people seeing it, like a break glass account that has protections around it. We can do that also. There are a myriad of things that TechIDManager can set up to do. We can mix and match those unique accounts, those shared accounts, domain, local, Azure, in a variety of different ways. We can do local, unique accounts that are just in time. We can do local accounts that are shared, local administrator accounts that are managed or just in time. there's a big variety there. And we'd love to, if you have specific questions about your deployment of TechIDManager, we would love for you to go to TechIDManager.com and schedule a demo, and we can get into the real nitty-gritty of how the variety of options we have on privileged account management can help you specifically. In this generalized demo, we're just going to list them all and then move on and talk about other stuff we can do. There's organization for all of these. As you can see, the tree here on the left keeps changing. These are different organizational mechanisms we have to help you find what you're looking for. So if you just want to see the stuff to Goldfish, click there, you see it. Really nice. In addition to these privileged accounts and the password management that goes on with those and the management of the actual account that we have inside TechIDManager, there are a variety of other passwords at an MSP that need to be saved, maintained, controlled, logged. So we have two additional features. We have a private password vault for a specific technician to put passwords in, and we also have password vaults, or vaults of passwords, where a vault is this unique cryptographic entity that has its own asymmetric encryption keys that is cryptographically end-to-end secured, end-to-end encrypted, so that only the specific technicians that should see it can see it. And we have key passing that goes on inside TechIDManager to make this secure. This is the only shareable password vault on the market that is based on end-to-end encryption, which is a true distinguisher when you get into vendor management and what SaaS vendors can see and can't see, what data they have access to, what data they pretend to not have access to, but really under the hood they have access to it. It's a big gripe of mine. We're encrypting all of these with asymmetric encryption keys that we do not have. We never have access to those. Just the technicians keep those physically on their computer or on devices attached to their computer. So, though we're storing hundreds of millions of passwords and credentials and accounts, we cannot decrypt or see any of them. This holds true for the entire product, for the managed passwords, for the specific user passwords, and for the vault passwords. The real serious security mechanism. And if you, in there, your onion that is cybersecurity, in that layers of cybersecurity, if you want to go one step further and be in physical control of all those encrypted data, you can self-host this entire product. This whole product, all of it, can be hosted on your infrastructure and computers that you control, and we have zero access to even see the metadata about it, even though we can't see the credentials. That is kind of the high-level overview of all of the basic features of TechIDManager. There's a lot more about rights management, account control. There's some things that I can tell you about how we have saved and re-granted administrative access to technicians at clients who've been breached and their accounts have been deleted or disabled. There's a lot that TechIDManager does. We also integrate MFA in the form of TOTP with any of these accounts so that as you use them, you can directly keep all that information in one place. There's a lot. So that is my brief high-level overview of TechIDManager. If you have specific questions, we would love to do a one-on-one demo with you. You can go to TechIDManager.com and schedule a demo. Top right corner, there are buttons all over the place to schedule a demo. This should be a real easy thing to find. And we can talk to you and dig into your specific needs for privileged account management and show you how TechIDManager applies. Or if TechIDManager doesn't apply, we'll tell you that. We try to be as transparent as possible. Pricing's on our website, all the documentation about the product, how to install it, is all transparently on our website. We don't put anything behind the gates. All right? If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the doobly-doos down below. I don't currently see any questions there. So we will say adieu and have a great day. It's been great talking to y'all.